Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly mind-bending. Imagine for a second picking up a text written over 2,500 years ago in ancient China, only to realize that it perfectly mirrors the foundational principles of modern theoretical physics. We're talking about the ancient philosopher Laozi. His views on the cosmos were so incredibly far ahead of his time, you'd swear they were pulled straight from a 21st century quantum mechanics lecture. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this, so let's jump right in. And just to establish right off the bat how serious this is, consider Niels Bohr. We aren't just drawing some vague spiritual parallels here. The Nobel Prize-winning theoretical physicist explicitly noted the striking similarities between modern physics and Laozi's thought. And he definitely wasn't alone. Hideki Yukawa, Japan's first Nobel laureate in physics, actually kept Laozi as a favorite bedside read. Even the legendary psychoanalyst Carl Jung believed Laozi tapped directly into the collective unconscious. This ancient philosophy carries some serious scientific weight. Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with 2,500-year-old quantum mechanics, then explore the root concept of Tao. Next, we'll look at mu and reality, followed by wu-wei ziran. Then we'll cover escaping the try-hard trap and finish up with inner work. Section 1. 2,500-year-old quantum mechanics. To really set the stage, we have to travel back to ancient China during the chaotic Warring States period. While everyone else was fiercely arguing over politics and territory, Laozi was zooming out, asking these massive cosmic questions. And his answers? They ended up captivating an incredible diversity of minds. We already mentioned heavyweights like Zheng and Bohr, but even John Lennon kept his work close. What's crazy is that Laozi's entire text is only about 5,000 words long. It's incredibly short, yet so dense and profound that it influenced everyone from psychoanalysts mapping the human mind, to physicists decoding the universe, to musicians looking for peace. Section 2. The root. Tao. So before Laozi came along, philosophers used the word Tao, which means the way, almost exclusively to talk about human morality. But Laozi radically hijacked it. For him, the Tao isn't some rigid set of rules. It's the nameless, formless origin of the universe. It's this invisible, silent foundation of all existence. In fact, Laozi explicitly warns us if you can easily point to it, categorize it, or slap a neat little label on it, then it is absolutely not the true Tao. It completely defies human language. To really visualize this, think of the Tao like Doraemon's 4D pocket, if you know the anime. It's actually a brilliant metaphor. The Tao is this completely empty vessel. You can infinitely pull things from it, yet it never runs out of space and it never actually fills up. It's the ultimate mother of all things, an infinite void continuously birthing the entire visible universe without ever being depleted. Section 3. Mu and reality. All right, get ready, because this is where ancient mysticism formally shakes hands with modern quantum mechanics. The absolutely crucial point here is Laozi's concept of mu, which translates to nothingness. But please, do not mistake nothingness for empty space. Laozi argued that mu is a state of invisible, boundless energy that actively gives birth to you, or physical existence. Think of a donut. What makes a donut a donut? It's the empty hole right in the middle. Without that specific nothingness in the center, the donut literally cannot exist. The invisible void is exactly what defines the physical reality. Let's contrast this with the Buddhist concept of ku, or emptiness. Just to be super clear, in Buddhism, ku often implies that the visible world itself is an illusion, totally empty of inherent meaning. But Lao Tzu Mu is a completely different beast. He believed that mu exists before the visible world. It's a profound, humming energetic potential sitting just beyond our sensory perception, actively generating the reality we experience. Which inevitably leads us to a massive, mind-bending question. Where actually is reality? If the visible world is constantly being birthed by an invisible realm of boundless potential, at what exact point does nothingness become something? It's fascinating because this very question, posed 2,500 years ago, is exactly what theoretical physicists are wrestling with today. And this brilliantly connects to the quantum measurement problem. You know how in quantum mechanics, particles don't actually have definite properties until they're observed? Reality just exists in this hazy, undefined state of endless potential, a wave of probabilities. It's only upon observation that it collapses into existence. Now think about Laozi's mu, the invisible, nameless energy birthing the visible you. He perfectly anticipated this.
He essentially theorized that a boundless field of unobserved potential is the true engine of the universe. It is just astonishing. Section 4. Wu Wei Ziran.
Okay, so that is some heavy cosmic truth right there. But how do we actually apply this cosmic physics to our daily grind? Well, Laozi's answer is wu wei, which translates to non-action. But hold on, this absolutely doesn't mean just being lazy or doing nothing. It means discarding artificiality and flowing effortlessly. Think of the brand Muji, which literally translates to no brand quality goods. It's all about an organic, unadorned aesthetic. Wu Wei means eliminating forced, unnecessary actions and dropping your ego so you can act in perfect alignment with nature. And when you achieve this state of Wu Wei, Laozi says you attain Te, or virtue. But true to form, he completely redefines the word. It isn't about being a polite, rule-following citizen, it's the active power of the Tao. It is remarkably similar to the Force in Star Wars. When you finally stop fighting the universe and align with the Tao, you're granted Te, this natural, almost supernatural flow of energy, exactly like a Jedi tapping into the Force. Section 5. Escaping the try-hard trap. Laozi actually used his philosophy to deliver a really razor-sharp critique of society. Just look at the stark contrast between Laozi and Confucianism, which was the dominant philosophy of his time. Laozi focuses heavily on nature, the inner self, and cosmic flow. The whole vibe is effortless and organic. Confucianism, on the other hand, focuses on social order, rigid rules, and status. Laozi viewed all of that as deeply artificial and forced. His philosophy is the ultimate anti-hustle mindset, pushing back hard against the exhausting, try-hard expectations of society. His logic here is kinda harsh, but man, is it brilliant. True virtue needs no labels. He pointed out that society only starts obsessing over concepts like justice, loyalty, and righteousness when things are already fundamentally broken. Think about it. If you have to forcefully demand loyalty, it means natural harmony, the Tao, has already been lost. You don't need artificial moral rules when you are naturally connected to the flow of the universe. Section 6. Inner work. So practically speaking, how do we actually strip away all these artificial layers? Laozi gives us 3 pretty unconventional steps. First, empty your mind of worldly desires. Second, stop obsessively accumulating knowledge. And third, return to the pure state of a baby. Laozi loved the metaphor of an infant. A baby isn't stressed about status, rules, or ego. They are totally untouched by societal pollution. They just naturally exist, perfectly aligned with the universe. Now that second step, that usually shocks people. Stop learning? Seriously? Well, yes. Pursuing the world means adding knowledge every single day just to compete. But pursuing the Tao means subtracting knowledge every day. Laozi isn't telling you to be ignorant. He's telling you to clear out the mental clutter, the overthinking, and the massive ego that blocks your true inner silence. There's this beautiful translation by Professor Ayumu Yasutomi that perfectly summarizes our ultimate goal here. The world is this massive, living entity humming with invisible quantum energy, but we are just way too noisy to hear it. By subtracting our ego and practicing Wu Wei, we finally become quiet enough to receive that frequency. We dissolve the self and harmonize with the great, invisible life force of the universe. I want to leave you with a provocative thought to wrap things up. We live in an era that is completely obsessed with grinding, hustling, and forcing outcomes. But based on the ancient wisdom of Laozi and, honestly, the staggering reality of quantum mechanics, we know that forced action breaks the natural flow. So ask yourself, in a world obsessed with doing, what incredible potential could you unleash by simply doing nothing? Thank you so much for exploring the Tao with me today on The Explainer.